Lawyer SORI removed CJ Torkornoo, desperate return as judge, dead on arrival. Removed CJ Torkornoo's desperate return as judge, dead on arrival. Try and correct it. There's an L that comes before the desperate, and Torkornoo apostrophe S, Torkornoos. Yes, Torkornoos, desperate. Torkornoo, so apostrophe S, right? Okay. My brother, my sister, you see what we are looking at, right? Lawyer SORI says, removed CJ Torkornoo's desperate return as judge, dead on arrival. And who is lawyer Thaddeus SORI? This young lawyer is only about 54 years. He's coming all the way from the Upper West region of Ghana. He's one of Ghana's best luminary brains in terms of the legal profession, what you call law. Lawyer Thaddeus SORI cut his teeth at the University of Ghana, Legon, the law school. And then right now, called to the bar. In fact, he skipped the bar. And now, he's flying in total opulence in terms of success, the opulence of success. He's one of the topmost lawyers in Ghana. And some of the biggest cases in Ghana went through his hands. He's been the lawyer for the GFA in the days of Kwesi Nyantakyi. In fact, this man has handled some of the biggest cases in the history of law. The legal litigation job. He's called Lawyer Thaddeus SORI. My brother, my sister, I've known Lawyer Thaddeus SORI for some time now. He's my brother. I love him. When I was invited to the Parliament House, remember, when it was said that 80% of all the Ghanaian parliamentarians smoked in Tampe, we all remember, he was my lawyer. Alongside lawyer, a learned man, Yoni Kulendi. My brother, my sister, this is Lawyer Thaddeus SORI. And he says, removed CJ Torkornoo's desperate return as judge, dead on arrival. Why is he saying this? We all remember Daniel Ofori, the man who became rich at the age of 15 when he established Whitechapel. Do we all remember Daniel Ofori? The CEO, the boss, the director of Whitechapel, an apparel outfit right here in Ghana. He's into so many other businesses. He encountered Torkornoo, Gertrude Torkornoo, my brother, my sister, in some of his legal tussles. And he felt that the woman did not treat him well. There was some aspect of bias. So he went to court and he won the case against the biased Gertrude Torkornoo before she became Chief Justice. Let's get it clear. Now, it didn't end there. He went to the Supreme Court and got a verdict against Gertrude Torkornoo for being overly biased against him in a certain case. And he went back to court seeking to remove the Chief Justice. And he succeeded. First and foremost, who is this former Chief Justice we are talking about? Gertrude Esaba Torkornoo. That's it. She was born in Cape Coast, hailing all the way from Winneba on the 11th of September 1962. This is the lady. She was born into a humble home. Father and mother were both teachers. She lived in a family that was just hand to mouth. So she started off by going to some of these rural schools. She went to Soum schools, and then she came down all the way, my brother, my sister, to attend such schools in the outskirts of Accra. She got the opportunity to go to Wesley Girls and then to Achimota School. And when she finished, she went to the University of Ghana. Oh my God. She went to the law school. She studied law and also sociology. She came out with flying colors, pursued her law, and got called to the bar. She also schooled in Rotterdam, right there in Holland, in America, and came out with flying colors. In 2019, November, she was appointed as a Supreme Court judge. It went through Parliament, and boom, by December of 2019, she was given the thumbs up. And then she sailed through beautifully and became a Supreme Court judge. Please note that from 2019. My brother, my sister, from 2019 when she became a Supreme Court judge, she had been doing a lot of work. A lot of work. That was where she encountered Daniel Ofori. And Daniel Ofori felt that she was biased towards him. And true to his words, he got the Supreme Court to stop Gertrude Torkornoo from listening to his case from that time because of bias. You know what bias means? One-sided. You don't want to listen to the other side. You are biased, right? That's what it means. Come here. My brother, my sister, this is Gertrude Torkornoo. Then, after 2019, 4 years later, in 2023, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, his government, decided that no, this was a great woman. And therefore, she must be given the nod to become the next Chief Justice, the 15th Chief Justice. Enin Yabua, my brother, my sister, Chief Justice Enin Yabua had retired. This is the man. And there was supposed to be a replacement. And the 15th Chief Justice of Ghana, the onus fell on the great woman called Gertrude Torkornoo. So when she became Chief Justice, Daniel Ofori said, yeah, me woo. This same biased woman, all the way from the Supreme Court, who has been biased to me on several occasions, and I got the Supreme Court to stop her from listening to any of my cases, is now the Chief Justice. My brother, my sister, she became Chief Justice in 2023. So, Daniel Ofori, having succeeded in stopping her from listening to any of his cases, still felt that this woman was biased and she was abusing her office, and decided to petition the president. With the help of two lawyers, lawyer Thaddeus SORI of SORI at Law, now called SORI and Partners at Law. My brother, my sister, alongside Chatuchi Kata, another legal luminary, came together, compared notes, crossed all the T's, and dotted all the I's. They wrote a beautiful petition on behalf of Daniel Ofori, sent it to the president. President had a look at it, and by the law, this is how you remove the Chief Justice. You send a petition to the president. Now the president will look at it and send it to the Council of Elders. My brother, my sister, the Council of State. They look at it, and then they form a committee, look into the thing, and come out with their findings. And it came out that out of the over 20-something allegations brought against Gertrude Torkornoo, 3 or so of them were upheld. And therefore, Torkornoo had to be kicked out. Now, we have done a full story on this, so I don't really want to repeat things. My brother, my sister, she was kicked out. And Torkornoo decided to fight The agreement at first was that she should just resign quietly after getting people to speak with President Mahama so that she would get her benefits. But no, her lawyers, in conjunction with her, agreed that she must flex her legal muscles. They don't have a case. You know what lawyers normally say when they want to litigate? Forget about the president. Flex your muscles. Remember, you are the Chief Justice. Chief Justice, you must get justice. So she ignored the president, refused to resign, and went straight to litigate. She litigated. And my brother, my sister, she lost. Then she tried to go back to the president, as we were told by Amaliba. In fact, the founder of the legal team of the NDC. And this time round, Mahama said, it's gone too far for me to go back. We are not turning back anymore. There was an opportunity for you to resign quietly. You decided to flex your muscles. Now that you realize that your muscles and arsenals are not strong enough for the fight, you want to retreat and return with an olive branch. It's too late. Now, the news is this. Torkornoo wants to come back. And this time round, she wants to come back not as Chief Justice, but as a Justice of the Supreme Court. Hallelujah. Watch this. It's interesting. And this one is coming from Ghana Web. My brother, my sister. Torkornoo goes to court to challenge her removal as Supreme Court Justice. Do you get that? She is going to court to challenge the fact that she was a Supreme Court Justice before she became Chief Justice. She was a Justice before she became a Chief Justice. For that matter, if you are removing me as the Chief Justice, please maintain me as a Supreme Court Justice. It's like a secondary school or a village school. The headmaster is sacked for raping a little girl or stealing from the school or doing some other such heinous thing. And then he goes out and says, well, before I became the headmaster, I was a teacher. I was a teacher. Before the head teacher, I was a teacher. So if you have taken the head, at least leave me with the teacher so that I can still go to class 1 and class 2 and teach. Does it make sense to you? If the head teacher was found stealing from the school, abusing little children in the school, and was removed on these grounds, he says that, okay, you removed me as the head. Allow me to stay as the teacher of class 1 and class 2. So you continue abusing little children? So you continue stealing? This is what the case is all about. And lawyer SORI doesn't seem to be happy about it. Now, my brother, my sister, Daniel Ofori should be very interested in this case. Because as long as the Chief Justice retains as even a justice of the Supreme Court, he is still going to be threatened. The same threat that he felt and had to go to the Supreme Court and get Torkornoo to stop listening to any of his cases. This is the guy, Daniel Ofori. He's a wealthy guy. So many people think that he's unlettered. But when you see him analyze things, the natural wisdom that he has, you'll be shocked. At 15, he was already a millionaire in Ghana. Whitechapel, 15 years. Daniel Ofori should be interested in this case. And news from the grapevine is that even though the state is the first to appear before the court and answer charges, Daniel Ofori is getting the same team made up of SORI and the luminary legal brain Chatuchi Kata to join And this is going to be interesting, my brother, my sister. And we all are sitting here waiting to see exactly what is going to happen. The first respondent is the state. Now, Chachuchi Kata and Tadio SORI may join in as the second respondent. As Daniel Ofori is preparing to chase Gertrude Torkornoo to every corner that she goes to try and get a little bit of the cake that she had already eaten. Now, I'm going to finalize it. She says, you remove me as the Chief Justice. Now I want to return as a Justice of the Supreme Court. What do the law say? Article 1461 has made it clear as to the grounds that you can remove a Justice of the Supreme Court. The only difference between removing a Justice of the Supreme Court and the CJ is the fact that the processes are different a little. In the case of the CJ, you write a petition to the president will speak to the Council of State, the Council of State will look at it, form a committee to sit on it and report back to the president with findings. But in the case of removing a Justice of the Supreme Court, it changes a little bit. A petition is still written to the president. Now the president would have to talk to the Chief Justice. Do you get the difference? But if the Chief Justice is going to be removed, you cannot refer the case to the same Chief Justice who is going to be removed. From the president, it skips the Chief Justice and goes straight to the Council of State that will sit on it and deal with it and make sure that a committee is formed, and then boom. In the second case, you remove the Chief Justice and it goes straight to the Council of State that will sit on it, form a committee and report back to the president. My brother, my sister, tell me, if a head teacher is removed for stealing school money, if a head teacher is removed for abusing little children in the school, should the head teacher be allowed to come back to the school as a teacher? Again, is former Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo saying that she has given up on her removal as Chief Justice and now she is settling for a smaller position, Justice of the Supreme Court? I'm just asking. Now she's not fighting her removal as Chief Justice. She is looking at her removal as a Justice of the Supreme Court. This is the Black Pot, aka Kokushonomo, where we speak truth to power.